Alright folks, let's kick things off with a bang. We're diving headfirst into the wild and wonderful world of the UFC, where being a champ means more than just having a shiny belt to show off. It's a roller coaster ride of blood, sweat, and epic battles, where warriors clash in the octagon for glory and honor. But hold on to your hats, because not every champ plays by the same rules. Nope. Some of them have a knack for dodging the toughest fights like they're playing a game of hide and seek instead of throwing down in the cage. Crazy, right? So picture this. You're at the top of your game, standing tall as a UFC champion, feeling like you're on top of the world. You fought tooth and nail to get to where you are, and now it's time to defend that title against all comers. But instead of facing off against the top dogs in your division, you decide to take a detour down Easy Street. Yeah, you heard me right. Being a UFC champ isn't just about the glory and the fame. It's also about facing the toughest challenges head-on and proving you're the best of the best. But some champs seem to have other plans, opting for safer, more lucrative opportunities instead of stepping into the lion's den. So grab your snacks and settle in, because we're about to take a wild ride through 4 instances where UFC champions decided to swerve the top contenders and march to the beat of their own drum.
If anyone can do it, it's me.
From ducking grappling wizards to snubbing deserving challengers, these champs have left fans scratching their heads and wondering what in the world they were thinking. Eddie Alvarez versus Khabib Nurmagomedov and Conor McGregor, the dance of the champions. Picture this. Eddie Alvarez, fresh off his title win, is on top of the world as the UFC lightweight champion. But instead of facing the formidable Khabib Nurmagomedov, the undefeated wrecking machine of the lightweight division, Alvarez decides to take a detour.
You're here because you're the easiest dude in this division. That's why you're here. And he's never, ever fought anyone in UFC like me.
Enter Conor McGregor, the charismatic Irishman who's been making waves in multiple weight classes. Alvarez, enticed by the lure of a massive payday and the chance to test his skills against McGregor's striking prowess, opts to dance with the Notorious instead of facing the grappling nightmare that is Nurmagomedov. The UFC brass, always hungry for blockbuster matchups, wastes no time in booking Alvarez versus McGregor for UFC 205. Come fight night, McGregor delivers a masterclass performance, dethroning Alvarez in spectacular fashion and etching his name in the history books as the first fighter to hold 2 UFC titles simultaneously. But amidst the fanfare and celebrations, questions lingered. Did Alvarez make the right choice in ducking Nurmagomedov? And what about the fans who were eager to see that clash of styles? Conor McGregor versus Frankie Edgar, the notorious snub. Conor McGregor, the man who needs no introduction.
Never been a fighter who has captured the imagination of the fans like Conor McGregor.
After his historic win over Alvarez, McGregor finds himself holding both the featherweight and lightweight titles. But instead of defending his featherweight crown against the deserving Frankie Edgar, McGregor has other plans. Edgar, a perennial contender known for his relentless fighting style, was on a tear, racking up impressive victories and earning his shot at UFC gold.
Blue-collar guy. Wasn't the biggest or the scariest in the division, but that was part of what made him so compelling to watch.
Yet, McGregor's sights were set elsewhere, specifically on the lightweight title picture. With dreams of becoming a 2-division champion, McGregor sets his sights on the lightweight strap, leaving Edgar in the dust. While McGregor's decision to chase history may have seemed exciting, it left a bitter taste in the mouths of many fans who wanted to see him face off against Edgar's grinding style. Instead, McGregor's first title defense came against Eddie Alvarez, leaving Edgar to ponder what could have been. Michael Bisping versus Jacare Souza and Georges St-Pierre, the British Bulldog's dilemma. Michael Bisping, the brash Brit with a penchant for stirring up controversy.
Listen, I've had my setbacks, but trust me, I'm still working. I want this more than anyone. I will be the champion one day.
Finds himself in an enviable position as the UFC middleweight champion. With the division stacked with talent, Bisping's next move becomes the subject of much speculation. Enter Jacare Souza, the Brazilian jiu-jitsu ace who's been tearing through the middleweight ranks with his lethal ground game. Despite being the clear #1 contender, Souza finds himself passed over in favor of a rematch with Dan Henderson, a fight that many felt was unnecessary given Henderson's ranking at the time. But Bisping's penchant for drama doesn't end there. Instead of facing Souza or another top contender, he sets his sights on Georges St-Pierre, the former welterweight kingpin returning from a 3-year hiatus. While the prospect of a Bisping vs St. Pierre superfight was undeniably tantalizing, it left many scratching their heads, wondering why Bisping was avoiding the division's top contenders. As fate would have it, Bisping's gamble didn't pay off, with St. Pierre eventually pulling out of the fight due to injury. With the division in limbo and contenders left in the lurch, questions arise about Bisping's legacy and his willingness to face the division's best. Germaine de Randamie vs Chris Cyborg, the women's featherweight fiasco. In a historic moment for women's MMA, Germaine de Randamie becomes the inaugural UFC women's featherweight champion.
You're not gonna regret it, because the Iron Lady will show up, and we're gonna make it one hell of a ride.
But her reign is marred by controversy from the get-go, as she refuses to defend her title against Chris Cyborg, one of the most dominant forces in women's MMA. Despite Cyborg's undeniable credentials and her status as the division's top contender, de Randamie cites concerns about Cyborg's past drug testing issues as her reason for avoiding the fight. The decision sparks outrage among fans and fellow fighters alike, who accuse de Randamie of ducking the toughest challenge in the division. With de Randamie unwilling to face Cyborg, the UFC is left scrambling to salvage the women's featherweight division. As interim titles and potential matchups are thrown around, the spotlight remains firmly fixed on de Randamie and her refusal to face Cyborg, raising questions about the UFC's handling of the situation and the integrity of the sport. The UFC has witnessed instances where champions opted for alternative paths instead of facing their top contenders, sparking debates about integrity, accountability, and the essence of competition in the sport. While the allure of lucrative matchups, personal goals, and strategic decisions may drive such choices, they often leave fans and fellow fighters questioning the authenticity of championship reigns and the essence of being a true champion. As the UFC continues to evolve and grow, the issue of champion accountability remains a hot topic, with fans and pundits alike clamoring for champions to face their toughest challenges head-on. Ultimately, the sport thrives on the bravery and determination of its champions to confront the best of the best, ensuring that every victory is earned and every title defense is a testament to their skill, grit, and dedication. So, as we reflect on these instances where champions march to the beat of their own drum, let us also celebrate the fighters who embrace the spirit of competition, who willingly step into the lion's den to prove their worth, and who honor the tradition of the UFC by facing the toughest challenges with courage and humility. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the wild and wonderful world of the UFC. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more thrilling content from the Octagon. Until next time, keep your gloves up and your spirits high. Stay tuned for more epic showdowns and unforgettable moments in the world of mixed martial arts.